Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Embracing Infinity. I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. It is so good to be back. I haven't been on with y'all in about 3 or maybe 4 weeks. I'm not sure, but I'm so excited to be back. So happy New Year, everybody. Happy Friday and happy weekend. We are enjoying some beautiful weather here in California, so we're feeling very blessed. It's been in the high 70s, even into the 80-degree mark over here in the middle of January. So we're really happy about that. But we did get a couple of weeks of rain and chill. So, but anyways, we're for this week at least, we're enjoying some beautiful sunny weather. So sending a lot of sunshine your way, everybody. And I hope you all are doing well and had a fabulous holiday and are excited about what we're going to be creating and manifesting for 2026. It's going to be a good year. The planets are in everybody's favor. So looking forward to it all. I'm very excited for my first guest of the year, Dr. Vaidehi Priyal, who will be on with me shortly. And we will be talking all about telepathy. And I know a lot of you are very excited and have been looking forward to it. So I promise not to talk very long, and we'll get her joining us as soon as possible. I just wanted to say hello to everybody as we're starting to join in. I saw my friend Jeffrey here is joining us too. So hello, my friend. How are you? I saw Arnie Layton is here as well. So hello, Arnie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hello, me and my shadow. Thanks for joining us. Much love to you too, Arnie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I saw my girl Nancy Maratala is here as well, joining us. Thank you, Nancy. Much appreciated. And we have coming up our live, Nancy, Fashionably Spiritual. I can't remember if it's this coming Monday or the next one. But we got it coming soon on Monday evening at 6 p.m. And we co-host that show. We always go really deep. It's really fun. So I hope you can join us for that. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Hello, Jennifer McCormick. Good to see you. Thank you. It feels so good to be back with you all. I'm so excited. And my heart is warm and happy right now getting to see all of your names. So it's making my day. I see our girl Lynn Juno is here as well. She just had a fabulous show, Kaleidoscope of the Soul, right before Embracing Infinity. So great job, Lynn. So happy for you. So happy for you. Abby, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Tina, thanks for joining us as well. And please stay tuned, everybody, for Spiritually Imperfect at 5 p.m. Pacific later today with Michael Christopher and Jennifer Lee. And that will be 1 a.m. Saturday in the UK. Okay, this coming Monday, Nancy and I will be going live at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, and 2 a.m. Tuesday in the UK for Fashionably Spiritual. So please do join us for that as well. And then the following Saturday, a week from tomorrow, Messages from the Enchanted Realms will be back with Fran Pierce and Shannon Merte, Angels and Fairies, and everybody, oh my, all the realms coming up. So thank you, Nancy. I see Elaine Staten is here as well, too. Hey, Elaine, good to see you, too. She's a fabulous medium over in the UK. And I had the honor of having her on Embracing Infinity last year as well, talking about her NDE with the angels. It was a beautiful show as well. So thanks for joining us, Elaine, too. And so thank you all for being here. Thank you, Abby. 5 planets, including the sun, all in Capricorn, and some are heading for Pluto. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting year. And we've had both Mars and Venus equidistance on both sides of the sun too recently also. So there's a lot of like really interesting things happening planetary wise, but there's an opportunity to create miracles. So this is kind of the gestation month. It feels very wonky, like time and space are a little distorted. But it is the time to start planning for the rest of the year. This is the time to do it. So everybody, let's go. You know how I am. Let's make the best. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. So happy that you're all here today too. And again, my heart is really, really warm that you all are here today. Pretty please, if you have a moment, to hit the reaction button while you're watching the live or after. It helps for our show to keep growing and also helps the network as well. If you have an opportunity to do a little hashtag live in the comments, we love your comments as well. You're welcome to ask questions as we talk about telepathy here today. If you have a question that comes up too, if you have a chance to share, tag, subscribe, follow, we greatly appreciate it. You can always put on a review as well too. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that. I'm glad I remembered. And hello, Rosie. Thanks for joining us here today too. So, okay, my friends, I think we're ready to go. And I'm very excited for our first show to be about a very exciting topic. So please let us welcome my special guest, Dr. V. Vaidehi Priyal. Hello, hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
How
Hi.
are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hi, viewers. So happy to see you all. I'm glad that this topic on Let's Talk Telepathy will be very useful for you all. And yeah, Jennifer.
Beautiful. Thank you. I know you're
Yeah,
joining us from India, and I know it's past
yeah,
11 p.m. there for you.
yeah,
So we're greatly
yeah.
appreciative of your time and you staying up late for all of us here tonight too. So thank you for that
Yeah,
as well. That's some extra special effort.
yeah. This is part of my profession, and I'm so happy to spend time with you all discussing on this topic. And yeah, I'm from India, and basically, I did my Apparel and Fashion Technology, B.Sc. Apparel and Fashion Technology. After that, I completed my MBA, and I pursued my PhD. So my PhD was on MBA under HR, human resource, and the specific topic which I did in HR was spiritual business management. So
Mm,
my research was totally into aura, chakras, spiritual growth, evolution, enlightenment. So, and when I was doing this research, I my focus turned towards telepathy, and I was exploring more about that topic. And I got a lot of information which I gathered. So I just wanted to share my knowledge on telepathy with you all, and I have published 4 to 5 papers on telepathy in different journals. And right now, I'm almost in the verge of completion of my telepathic communication book, which has been we have been working on past 6 months, and maybe in another 1 or 2 months it will be published. And that book will contain all the information what I'm discussing with you all in this podcast. So and also I will ask Jennifer Rose, if you're interested to know about the book as well as the telepathy. I will share the details with her so that you can refer in future for your further information and knowledge.
oops, beautiful. Thank you, Vaidehi, too. And
Yeah,
I know you're highly accomplished academician.
yeah,
I
thank
said it.
you. Yeah,
I said it too. I'm going to read the short version of your bio for
yeah,
everybody here today, but I know the list of your accomplishments is quite long. But just for anybody who's just tuning in and still just kind of getting to know you for the first time, we'll give just a little brief synopsis. So, everybody, Dr. V. Vaidehi Priyal is a distinguished academician, researcher, author, and spiritual counselor with a PhD in human resource management from PSG Institute of Management, Coimbatore. With over 2 decades of academic and research engagement, she has authored multiple books, published 20 plus over 20 research papers in national and international journals, and successfully completed an international grant project in collaboration with the Institute of Noetic Sciences. And I know many of you are probably familiar with that in the USA. Honored with several prestigious awards for excellence in teaching, research, and spiritual service, Dr. Vaidehi seamlessly integrates management science with spirituality to inspire holistic growth and purposeful leadership. Now based in Qatar, she is an active YouTuber, vlogger, and founder of the global Facebook community Spiritual Forum. That's a group you all can join over on Facebook, everyone, connecting and guiding over 26,000 followers worldwide. Now, that is just the short version. If you go into the event, which we posted on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a longer version, and that still is shorter than the longest version of the many, many things that you've accomplished. So thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and expertise here with us today, too. Shall we get started, my dear? And I also want to thank everybody who's joined us. I see Nigel's come in. I saw Evelyn is here as well. So thank you for all for being here, too. All right, my dear. I think most of us are familiar with the concept of telepathy, but you can kind of fill us in on a really good definition that would help to connect all of the dots, because some people may have a slightly different version of what you know it to be from your research. Okay, I think you're muted. Hold on. We're just trying to keep the the sound clean.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. So when we talk about this telepathic communication, first we have to know how this telepathy came as a talk or a topic of discussion. So the term telepathy, the word, was first coined by W.H. Mayers, and he is one of the founder of Society of Psychical Research, SPR. And so he gave the definition that telepathy is a communication which happens from one brain to another brain which is far away, and not by means of any physical senses, the six senses, like see, hear, touch, smell, think, and taste. So without these six senses, a person has to communicate telepathically from one place to another who is far away without using these six physical senses, including think, the brain. Okay, so this term was derived from two Greek words, which is tele meaning afar, a person who is far away, and pathos meaning feeling. That is the feelings or emotions or thoughts which is being exchanged between two persons. So this is called as telepathy. So this is a definition which was given by W.H. Mayers, and there are many other researchers who explored more into this topic and researched on, have given their own definitions with few variations. So according to my research, my definition about telepathy is the communication between two persons who are far away, but they can use the six senses. I mean, instead of just brain to brain communication, which is very difficult to achieve, first we have to touch the parts of the body language reading or the physical reading. So once the person is well versed in reading the the non-verbal cures and communicating, able to understand the thoughts, read the thoughts, and communicate with the other person without the use of words or their verbal communication. So this is called as telepathy in my version, where we use the help of or the support of the six senses, and moving to the next is the seventh sense, that is the person who uses all these six physical senses and able to read the emotions and thoughts of other person, so that he develops the seventh sense, that is which is the telepathic communication. Usually we know that there are six senses, but adding to it one more is the telepathic communication, where people uses the support of these six physical senses and developing the ability to read the thoughts, share, exchange information through minds, is called as telepathic communication. So what I insist here is that without the help of the body language or the six physical senses, we cannot achieve telepathy communication. But in actual sense, people say that telepathy is purely, it should be purely between sharing thoughts, and no physical senses should be involved. But I want to take it in a different perspective, because it's very difficult to achieve telepathy communication without the help from the physical senses. First, one has to be aware what he is displaying, how he is displaying his physical, I mean, reading, that is knowing himself, whether he is able to understand what his body language is about to convey others, and what how he can develop knowing, I mean, understanding the body language of by the knowledge of his physical reading, and by that he can use this physical reading or the body language reading with the others, then going from physical reading to mental reading, and finally achieving telepathy communication. This is how it works. So this is my version of telepathy communication definition. So with this, what I need to say here is that the word telepathy can be seen in two ways, two versions. One is through spiritually, and the other is scientifically. So how telepathy is possible spiritually, and that is the first topic which I want to discuss with you all. So you might have heard of India, and we have so many gods, but in other religions we have Jesus, he's the only god. And in Muslim, religion, they have one god. And but in India, we worship so many gods, and each god has different powers. One gives knowledge, one gives wealth, one gives strength. So like that we have different gods. So that is so many commotion, I mean, because when other country people come here, why so many gods? And so basically, there are three main gods in Hindu mythology, or in India, which we worship and follow. Is first is Brahma. Brahma is the god who created the universe, and second is Vishnu. Vishnu is God who preserves and maintains the universe, and Lord Shiva, he is the destroyer. So these all these three gods, they personify the cosmic functions of creation, maintenance, and destruction. And we call these three gods as the Hindu triad, or the Great Trinity, because Trinity means three main gods who are different versions of the supreme god Lord Krishna. So the Lord Krishna takes up these three forms of three main gods. So and we say that Lord Shiva, the god of destruction, so he is called as Triambaka Deva, which means three-eyed god. So I just want Kelly to display about the Lord Shiva.
Okay, so we do have some presentation for you as well. And this will help our audience
Yeah.
and viewers to understand how all of this connects, and how they can also begin to develop their own telepathy, or enhance what they've already started. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, Jennifer.
Okay. I know we're
Yeah,
I know we're jumping right into it, but I just wanted to kind of give people a little bit of a foundation
yeah,
here of
yeah.
what they can expect.
Proceed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so beautiful. Okay, so handing it back over to you, love.
yeah. Can I proceed or?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So he is Lord Shiva, and you can see the third eye, that is the eye of wisdom. We call it as the eye of wisdom or the eye of destruction. It can be used in two ways. So when Lord Shiva is in the meditative state, so his third eye will fill us with wisdom. When he is in an angry state, or his anger is provoked, we say as the eye of destruction. When he opens the third eye, which is on the forehead between the two eyes, so we say that that third eye, the eye of destruction, will destroy the whole universe, and again the new universe will be created. That is, destruction again begins with the creation, maintenance, destruction. This cycle repeats in a loop. So he is Lord Shiva, and why I'm explaining you this is the word third eye. It is originated from Lord Shiva, where we symbolize Shiva as having the third eye in between his eyebrows, and this third eye helps in connecting us telepathically, because when a person sits in a meditative state, we say that in Hindu mythology there are seven chakras that is aligned in the center of the body. So these seven chakras help in the enlightenment process, evolution of a human consciousness. So when during meditation, the spiritual energy from the base chakras, when it moves towards the center of the spinal cord, towards this third eye chakra, so that's where a person can experience telepathically. We can say that only through meditation we can attain this telepathy. No, that's not. We can attain this telepathic communication even not only we should attain enlightenment or evolution or something. We can attain this telepathy, activate this telepathy communication through practice, and we should be very patient. Every person in this world has the ability to communicate telepathically, but why this is lacking is that because of so many blocks. And when we clear these blocks, I'll be telling in my upcoming talk. But because Jennifer has to have some discussion, she has to do, so I'm just stopping it here, and I will talk about this in detail further. Yes, Jennifer.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. So I know most of our viewers will be familiar with the third eye and the chakras as well too. So that's
Yeah,
beautiful. So it sounds like what you're saying is that the Kundalini activation,
yeah,
when that
exactly.
energy reaches all the way up to
Reaches
the
the,
highest chakra, that's when that
yes, yes,
telepathic communication really
communication.
starts to light up and come on fire. I mean, I know telepathy would be considered pretty normal for, say, a mother and a child, for
Mhm.
biological twins, for the twin
Yeah.
souls, et
Mhm.
cetera, too. But it sounds like what you're saying is this can become even more expansive as well.
Yes, yes,
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Let's see this. What do we have
yes.
here?
Yeah. So this again is the same picture of Lord Shiva, and this picture is we say Lord Shiva as um, this is the Ardhanarishwaran. Ardhanarishwaran means Lord Shiva has two halves. That is, the right side of his body is male and left is female. So when this Ardhanarishwaran. We say it is Ardhanarishwaran in Hindu. In Tamil, it is in Tamil we say, which means that half of the body of Lord Shiva is Shakti. So why I'm saying this is, so we say that he has three eyes, where the right and left eyes are where the physical. Um, one second. Kindly excuse me. So, the right and left eye, it represents the activities of Lord Shiva in the physical world. That is, the right is the yang, which is the male, and the left is the yin, which is the female. So, what happens here is that his third eye, which we call it as the eye of wisdom, is where the telepathy actually happens. So I just want you to explain you why Lord Shiva is called as Triambaka, why one side is male, one side is female, and what does the third eye do? So just to give a simple, information about this picture, I just wanted to convey the audience regarding that. I don't know many people will be aware of this, but this is the Ardhanarishwarar pose of Lord Shiva. And After this, I just want you to display the seven chakras. The next picture. Yes, this again the same picture. Yes, so I hope most of the people would have known about these seven chakras. So actually, the base of the spine, in the base of the spine is the Mooladhara chakra. So these seven chakras are the Sanskrit names, but we have given English names for these seven chakras, which will be easy for people to understand when all the other country people also when they learn about these or want to know about these chakras, they can understand what it actually says or explains. So the base of the spine, we have the Mooladhara chakra, and this is otherwise called as the base chakra. So when the person is in his uh, I mean, physical uses his physical strength, and when he attached more to the materialistic desires, so he'll be in his Mooladhara chakra. And the next is the Swadhisthana chakra, which is in the genital area. So where he's into having emotional disputes with family, involved in pleasures and everything. And the next is the Manipura chakra, which is in the abdominal area of solar plexus. So what happens here is that this chakra is more about power, ego, domination, superiority, and everything. So the next after Manipura is the heart chakra, which is the Anahata chakra. So this chakra is about unconditional love, and the next is the throat or the Vishuddha chakra, which is about communication, expression. After Vishuddha, when the Kundalini energy moves to the Anyana chakra, which is the intuition and wisdom, that is where is the third eye chakra, and the last is the Sahasrara chakra. So where Sahasrara chakra is about union with divine. That is the we unite with the higher consciousness. So these seven chakras is very much needed to when you sit in a meditative state and understand what actually happens inside your body, and how this kundalini energy can be awakened, and how it can move up all the seven chakras and reach the Sahasrara chakra, and how this union of Shiva and Shakti, that is the we say that there is a serpent energy at the base of the spine, Mooladhara. So this energy moves upwards during the meditation. The Kundalini is awakened, and this energy is called as the feminine energy, or the Shakti, where we say that half Shiva and Shakti, the picture of the Ardhanarishwaran. So this Shakti, that is the feminine energy, moves up the all the seven chakras, and it unites with the it sits in the Sahasrara chakra, where the divine union happens. So when this process is happening, the Kundalini energy, when it moves upwards to the Sahasrara, so when it touches the Anyana chakra, the telepathy will be awakened, will be activated, and people can actually communicate, will develop the ability to communicate telepathically. So that is about the seven chakras. And yes, I have talked about the Kundalini energy, how these seven chakras help in the opening. I mean, the Kundalini energy of the seven, when it moves up the seven chakras, help in the opening of the third eye. So this is the spiritually. In spiritually, we see how telepathy can be activated or attained, but in scientifically how it actually happens is that, so speaking of the third eye, so in the spiritual side, we saw the third eye as the eye of wisdom, and where we can communicate telepathically. So that is spiritually. In scientifically, this speaking of the third eye, the third eye is actually a small cone-shaped gland, which is present at the back of the head, exactly at the top of the spinal cord. So this third eye, which we say here is the scientifically is the pineal gland. So this pineal gland has the ability to in the ancient times, when these technological advancements were not there. So we have read in many legendary tales, or the mythological books and all. We can see that this pineal gland has served as a medium to receive and transmit the signals to people in far off places. They were actually, the pineal gland acted as a medium to telepathically communicate, because that time there were no, in ancient times, there were no technological I mean developments, or technology was not there. So people use this pineal gland to communicate telepathically. And when, as people evolved, and when these technological advancements happened very drastically, what happened was people has forgot that they had the ability to telepathically communicate, and this pineal gland became dormant. Like how you can say the volcano is dormant, the ability is actually is inside our body, which we had forgotten because of our over relying on these technological advancements which is happening. And we are being actually pulled into the whirlpool of these discoveries and inventions. We forgot that we had this ability, and this pineal gland has become dormant. So, what the researcher in 2022, Lang, the researcher Lang, and along with other researchers, he actually found that when a person exhibits happiness or fear or joy, when these emotions actually happen inside the body, the body actually creates, it secretes an enzyme. It secretes an enzyme uh, which actually passes from the pituitary to the pineal. So I have already told you that pineal gland is the energy the thought transmitter and receiver. So actually, I'll come to this topic. Let me explain about the pituitary. So all the positive emotions or positive actions flows into the pituitary, whereas flows into the pineal. Pineal is where all the positive thoughts flows, and this pituitary is where all the negative thoughts actually flows into the pituitary. So this pineal gland is the true master gland, and it is the thought transmitter, whereas this pituitary, all negative thoughts and all, no, it flows into the pituitary. So when a person is uh, um, i mean um, uh, the thought which is being in the person's mind. So we said that the enzyme passes into what we are talking about, the experiments of Lang actually, he found that these emotions, whether it is happiness or joy or fear, what happens is that it creates an enzyme inside the brain, and this enzyme flows from the uh, I mean, uh, pituitary and reaches the pineal, flows through the pituitary and reaches the pineal. So what happens here is that all the positive thoughts goes through the pineal, and what happens is that this pineal is the doorway to the divine mind. So Lang, he said that when we think positively, when we say that yes, so I will work hard, I will achieve a lot in my life. So he's thinking positively. So this thought, no, any emotion, it can be, I told you, it can be happiness or anger or fear, any thought, but when it is positive, this positive thought goes through the pineal, and it enters into the divine mind, where your desires or thoughts will manifest. What happens? It manifests. But when you think negatively, no, it is not possible, I cannot become a very successful person, I cannot buy a very costly car or building or anything. If you think that anything negatively, that goes into the pituitary. So this pituitary will prevent the thought entering into the pineal to enter into the divine, flow into the divine mind and manifest. So what happens is that later this thought will become a forgotten information and will get buried in the subconscious. Okay, I hope this is clear. So yes, so Jennifer,
Beautiful. I know
Jennifer,
that's so much information. Yes.
yeah,
And
I have
I
not
know a lot of us are
completed.
familiar. We hear about the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, but you're
Yeah,
doing a beautiful job at kind of putting all the pieces together and how they all fit. Um,
yeah,
what also comes to mind is that, because what you're also saying, it's not just that we're hearing thoughts, but we're also feeling emotions. So
yeah,
we're connecting through emotions through this gland. This is our gland to the higher mind, to
yes,
the higher consciousness, right? So we feel emotions, we feel energy, we feel expressions of
yes,
people too. I know for myself, I would say that the emotions are more common for me. I hear the thoughts too, but I also understand that the thoughts come through my mental filter.
yeah,
I always keep that in mind there as well too. And sometimes I'll hear random thoughts if I'm out driving and somebody's in a bad mood, and like
yeah,
I'm like, oh, where did that person come from too?
yeah.
So it's not just verbal communication from mind to mind; it's also an emotional communication as well. Is this correct?
Yeah,
And I think this is important because a lot of folks in the spiritual community may be concerned or fearful that they need to block these things out because they don't like how it makes them feel. And so
yeah.
they feel like they need to block it out. And what they might not realize is that they're experiencing telepathy. Would that be
Mm.
correct as I'm understanding you speak? And hi, everybody who's joined us. Would that be correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll proceed. Jennifer, thank you. And
Yeah, does
yeah,
that make sense? I just wanted to make sure I have that correct and I'm not incorrect too, because people do like to block out what they perceive as
yeah,
emotional energy that feels uncomfortable for them. But if they're
yeah,
experiencing telepathy, that's actually a sign that they have um, started to develop their seventh sense,
yeah,
as
yeah,
you would put it. Would
yeah,
that be correct? Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. I want to make sure I have that correct. Okay. Are there any more pictures that we need to share?
No, this is enough. And
Okay.
finally, the books at the last weekend.
Okay, okay. And then we have some questions from the audience for you. So do you want to show the books now or would you prefer to wait?
Yes, yes, yes. We can show the books.
Okay, okay. So we have some books that people can look for to help
Yes.
them understand telepathy. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. This book is about the chakras and their functions. So it was written by Master Chow Koksu, who is the founder of modern pranic healing and Hatha Yoga. So for my PhD work, which I started in 2012 and finished in 2018, it took a span of 5 years. I had to do few courses related to auras and chakras. So where I explored was that there is a foundation called pranic healing, and they teach and explore more on these spiritual terms of aura and chakras. So this book helped me a lot in constructing my PhD, my thesis work. And the next book is yeah, next book, please. And I recommend people to, if you are interested, you can the books are available in Amazon or even the pranic healing centers websites. You can go into and you can purchase these books. And the next book which helped me in this telepathy research work was the book written by William Wadker Atkinson, and it is a book in 90s I mean 19th century. So you can see even I mean 1910s or something, no. The telepathy were vast explored, and they have written books. They have conducted experiments in the Society of Psychical Research. They have documented all the telepathic experiments which they have done in order to prove its existence. So this book helped me a lot in exploring on that, and it has a lot of information on how we can actually telepathically communicate, why this is not happening or possible, what is blocking it, and everything is given in this book. Yeah, next book, please.
Beautiful. And I do know the mediumship community in particular is very familiar with the Society of Psychical Research, where
Yeah.
they've done,
They
yeah, a lot of
actually,
research on that. Go ahead.
yeah, not only telepathy, they even do research on remote viewing, even
Hmm.
ESP and all these things.
Right.
So many, so many.
Correct. Correct.
mind, body, spirit, astral travel, all these things. And
Hmm.
this book on body language helped me to understand what the other people is expressing through their body language, what is actually their hidden thought, and how it is being manipulated. So all these things you can understand by reading this book on body language by Alan Pease. And these books, or 100 years back, they have written. These books have been written. The before book on telepathy also. So you can see it is not a new topic actually. So many people have talked about these. Uh, Supernatural. We can say as superstitious or supernatural, whatever it can be. But it is actually being uh, experimented, explored. But what is the thing is, we are not aware of that. Only people who are interested in these topics, they go explore, they get information on all these things, but not the whole public, because nobody shows much interest in these paranormal things, unless they have interest and love towards knowing more on these paranormal activities. They kind of explore and gain knowledge and all things. So this is one such book which I studied for my read just to develop my telepathy experiments and everything. The next book, yeah, this book in Resonance from Jas Mohan. She's we met once when she came to India. So there is a place called Pyramid Valley in the south of Tamil Nadu. No, sorry, south of India. Tamil Nadu is my state, but just at the border we have this Pyramid Valley. Pyramid Valley is a spiritual center where once she came there, Jas Mohan came there for a conference, a spiritual conference where we met and took photos. So I was just crazy about her book, and it talks a lot about telepathy and how she has written how during meditation. Regularly practicing or doing meditation actually helps in developing telepathy, and how by stilling the cerebral cortex. Actually, I was discussing with Jennifer regarding cerebral cortex, so more scientific thing. We say that telepathy can be known, should be known how spiritually it exists, actually, as well as scientifically also. So to know the scientific aspect of telepathy, how it happens, how the cerebral cortex plays a very important role in telepathy. So all these things were given in the book on in Resonance by Jas Mohan. So I recommend people who are viewing or listening to this podcast to read these books. It is very interesting for people who have the same mutual interest, or more of passion towards knowing these parapsychology and information on these topics and all. You can explore these books. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a beautiful demonstration. And you've packed so much information in such a short
Yeah.
period of time. So my hat off to you. Like that was excellent.
Yeah.
Would you be able to entertain if
When I'm talking, I'm getting blocked suddenly, because there's so much of information. Suddenly, I get stuck. Oh my god, what do I have to say next, or which information to say? So suddenly,
beautiful? No, it was beautiful. So
yeah.
Evelyn is asking, when we think strongly about a person and then we get a phone call or run into them, is that a
Yeah.
form of telepathy?
Yeah, it is a it is actually, I have written on the same question, same. This doubt. No, I have discussed in my paper, which has been published recently. So when we think about a person, the same person calls you, or when you're in a class among your classmates, your teacher is asking a question and suddenly you wanted to say that, but other people would have said the same answer. Maybe they know the answer. That's not the thing which I'm trying to convey here. The thought that you're having in your mind might not be known to others, but that thought has been picked up, and that has been told in the class. Okay, I have experienced all these. And when you're thinking of something to be bought, and your family members would have got the same. Yeah, all these things, no, we it's actually telepathy happening. But what happens is that we don't give much importance on these incidences, because we're all moving in a fast moving world. And what happens is that we don't have time to sit and discuss on these topics. We say, okay, it's just a coincidence, and we leave it aside, and we move on to the other things which is important to us.
Hmm.
What happens is that when you're thinking, and maybe your thought would have reached the person, and he or she would have been calling you through phone in another 2 or 3 days. Or what happens is that your thought would have reached her, and she would have sensed your feeling, and he or she would have actually without the knowledge that you would have thought about her, she would have called you, because you just came to her mind suddenly. Actually, this is actually a telepathic activity happening. But what happens is that we neglect it, we ignore it, and we go on. So that's why we don't the next incidences which happens, we just ignore it, because we are more into this day-to-day activities and other things. We are giving least importance. So what happens is that sometimes you are in a workplace, and you are actually sensing the behavior or the thoughts which the other person is actually thinking about you. But what happens is that when you go and talk to that person, you are thinking like this. So I just feel that you're thinking like this. What happens is that mostly people are very much afraid that their privacy is being intruded. What happens? Oh my god, she's actually thinking or saying that what I was actually thinking about. Oh my god. So what happens is that they are actually afraid that they are being read, or they are being able to understand your behavior. They actually block you from reading your thoughts. They say that, no, 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 I don't think about that. What happens? Okay, I might have thought something wrong. My it's wrong from my side. What happens? We just ignore it, and just we move on. So actually what happens here is that you might have read the other person correctly in workplace or place where you travel, or people are known to you. So what happens is that the telepathy is actually happening, but there is no transparency among the people. People are very hesitant to disclose their thoughts, or they are very afraid that their thoughts being read. So what happens is that naturally, when they're actually thinking about you the same what you're uttering, but they are not agreeing to that, what happens? You think that the mistake is on your side, and you just, okay, okay, you just leave it. So this is what is happening. So
Yeah.
I think what I feel is that when there is transparency among the people, when they disclose the thoughts, when they feel that it's very safe to open up to others, then we understand that telepathy is actually existing. And when that is being experienced by a person in their day-to-day life, yeah, yes, I can actually able to understand others thoughts. I can read them. I can actually also I mean transmit my thoughts to others. They can understand. Okay, our thoughts or the emotions will reach the person. And when these things are in a safer zone, it is when we feel very confident on and yes, open to others, this telepathy will actually everybody will understand and experience. So this block, when people block you, that's where we telepathy actually gets blocked. So further we cannot move in our telepathic
Mm.
experience. So this is what is happening in reality.
Yeah.
When
It can
people
be hard to, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just going to say it can be hard sometimes because there's a thought to thought connection. This is very much how
Mhm,
mediumship happens. This is how animal communication happens. So we
mhm,
don't realize
mhm,
that we're exercising
mhm.
telepathy. We might call it
Yeah,
something else, but it can be
one
very hard to
surprising.
distinguish the thought to thought connection of who thought it first because you're both thinking of the same concept, the same
Yeah,
story, or
yeah,
the same issue at the
yeah.
same time. And it's hard to know who thought it first because it's
Yeah.
going through the
Going
filter, you know?
yeah, I understand. Actually, when we're talking about the animals, it is a very surprising thing is that these animals never speak, they never share, But actually telepathy happens among them. They can understand without talking, they can communicate between them. But how that is possible? Is that a miraculous thing when the same thing happens in the humans? What it is a next evolution in our human. Yeah, it is a next evolution. Yeah, in human consciousness, or when we are able to actually telepathically communicate just by observing how these animals can do it, why not we people? So then we are taken to the multiple dimensionality, where we can explore and experience this vast knowledge and telepathy, and I have to talk about this. When there is a new discovery or something, it can also be used for negative purposes. And just like Albert Einstein's atomic energy, what happened now, they're using it for wars and everything. But when this telepathy is actually proved and it is existing, and when it is being used by all the people without any hesitation, when the whole world is able to communicate telepathically, understand the concept, and they can actually share information, then comes the problem. What happens is that you have to frame rules, because it can be used for also negative purposes. They can manipulate you, they can actually harass you through the thoughts, they can actually encroach your privacy. So many difficulties will happen. So that's why, people are not trying to keep a leg in this topic. They doesn't want to enter into all these problems, because what happens is that next we have to frame a law for all these problems, the crimes that will happen on telepathy. And what happens is that we have to change our whole law system, the rules and regulations by the government. So this and all secondary, which happens
Yeah.
after the whole world communicates telepathically. But we should be aware of these things.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
see that in movies sometimes. We do see
yeah.
that
So
in
how many
movies.
movies we see?
Um,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
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 there's occasion, yeah, there's been occasion where I've had
yeah.
to kind of be like,
Those
no,
are my
no,
favorite
no,
movies
no. There's been
actually.
occasion where, I've had a,
Yeah.
uninvited guest and I'm
Okay.
like, but
Okay.
because I'm aware of it, I can catch it and I know what to do. So that's
Yeah.
helpful for me.
Okay.
I did want to bring up Jennifer McCormick's comment because she was speaking about her now adult autistic son, and how they use telepathy to help
Yeah, exactly.
communicate with him. Thank you, Kelly. Too. My 23-year-old son is autistic and nonverbal. He was starved of oxygen at birth and has severe brain damage and cerebral palsy. Palsy. God bless you,
Mhm.
Jennifer. Early on, it was a huge guessing game as to what he wanted or needed. It was heartbreaking. Over time, my partner and I became so in tune with him. We are very telepathic, even as a family, and with their other two sons as well. And then her partner, dad, passed away a few years ago. And I know my younger two sons still sense him all around. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. You're muted,
Yes.
Vaidehi. Hold on. There we are. Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you be able to
Yes.
speak on that? Because autism has been on the
Yeah.
rise for quite some
Yeah.
time.
So, because they say that specially challenged children, especially these deafs or dumbs, or these kind of people with special abilities, no, what happens is that they have, since their senses, or since their behaviors are not normal, or when their senses are not, they're not gifted with those senses, they use their higher consciousness in actually developing the ability to if for example deaf children or dumb, since they don't have the ability to see or speak, or what happens is that they use their they actually senses the body language of others, and they actually is able to communicate those skills. The humans with all the abilities, and we are gifted with a full the whole body with no any uh, or specially challenged, who are good in health and as well as mentally and physically. What happens is that they don't have any need to develop the ability. But people with special abilities, specially challenged children, what happens is that they actually, since their senses, they don't have the particular senses, they develop the skills which a normal human being who are healthy physically and mentally don't have. So it is actually they're gifted children, though it can be autism or the what is it, palsy, what is the thing, cerebral palsy, yeah.
Cerebral palsy, yeah. So that
Cerebral
would affect the
palsy. Yeah,
motor.
yeah. I'm just looking into the word for the correct spelling. Yeah, cerebral palsy. I heard of these. What happens is that they develop extra ability, the special ability, which normal human beings will not have. And yeah, and we are being taken to a shock, or we are so surprised how these people, just without speaking or without hearing, how they can understand others and how they can sense the environment more clearly than a normal human being. But at that point we will think, oh, we are having any problem, or the other person, maybe we are not that skilled. So we can say these specially challenged children, or people with any abnormalities, or physically or mentally they are not fit, no, they are actually gifted. And it's very very important to understand that that we are no way compared to those children. They are actually develop these senses, so that it makes us actually wonder about their abilities, what they are having, and we should actually appreciate for them for that. And it's actually God's blessings. We what we say is that these children are not fit, and they're not given much importance, but when their family members or people known to them, they understand them actually in depth than the people who are a third person. So only people who are in, because I too have a sister who is mentally sick, retarded, my aunt's a child, but I can connect with her and understand what she actually, she cannot express whatever she's thinking. She just shows actions to just convey the message. But I can understand how much of abilities they have, even though they don't have that fitness or the mentally healthy, but they are actually gifted and they are special children. And they can communicate telepathically, exactly because their mom will actually know what a single emotion or gesture actually means about their children, because only a mom can understand that.
Correct. Yes. And she says he definitely excels in other areas, a whiz with
Yeah, yeah,
technology, and can play
yeah,
games and
exactly. Mm,
consoles
yeah.
one-handed and still beat
Mm,
everyone on racing games,
yeah,
especially left side with left-sided hand
yeah,
aphasia.
yeah,
That's fascinating too.
yeah,
And there isn't, there's an importance, because I know when my kids were very little, I practiced
mm,
being very in tune with them, because
mm,
you can't
mm,
understand what they need sometimes. And so you have to learn about what their cries say. You have to learn about, like you said, their body language, and be able to feel them. And that way
yeah,
you can figure out how to best
mm,
serve their needs. As this is the same, like we were talking about with animals too, like you can learn their
yeah,
different little barks, like with your
yeah,
puppies, you can learn their different little barks and things like that. So there's ways to be doing this all the time, and we just need, I think, like you said, not be fearful of it, because when we
mm,
block it,
mm,
then, like you say, we're limiting our possibility
yes, yes,
of our senses, of what we can achieve. So
yeah,
so I really appreciate that, that you shared that with us, and thank you, Jennifer, for enlightening us with your family there too. There was also a question about when is a good time to practice telepathy. Is there a good time or a special time?
yeah. Yes. Actually, first, before going to practicing telepathy, I want to explain on the cerebral cortex, which I was talking about. Actually, in scientifically, I said that the experiment done by Lang, and what he actually was able to discover, that every thought, every emotion secretes an enzyme, and it enters into the pituitary, to the pineal, and to the higher mind, where where we manifest actually. But what happens is that when a negative thought happens in our brain, when we think negatively, oh my god, I'm not that talented, I cannot do this. So this kind of negative thought, what happens is that will not pass into the pineal. What happens is that when you have a doubt in your mind, A doubt is another thought which will block the divine mind. It is actually, it will block the manifestations. Whatever you think it is not possible, it will not manifest because you think negatively. So what happens is that when you have a doubt in your brain, doubt in your thought, whether I can do this, whether I'd be able to achieve this, whether I can buy a car or anything, or can write a book. So when you have a doubt, oh, it's not possible, I'm not fit for that, I'm not that much so what happens is that negative thought or a doubt, it creates it actually it generates actually a biochemical reaction happens in the brain when you have a doubt. This biochemical reaction actually, it creates a neuron carrier. So a small neuron carrier around small carrier neuron carrier, and this neuron carrier, what happens is any thought, as I said, it passes from the pituitary to the pineal. So this neuron carrier, it actually passes from the pituitary to the pineal, and it blocks the pineal. And what thought you thought doubtfully, what you thought doubtfully will block the pineal gland, and that thought will not manifest. So that thought will become later will become a forgotten information and will not and you will never achieve it in your life, or you never can develop that ability, or you cannot so this is what is happening when you have a doubt in the brain. So the biochemical reaction creates a neuron carrier. It blocks the pineal gland. It and prevents the thought from entering into the divine mind, which will later become a forgotten information and will not manifest. And what we are trying to convey here is that even the same thing happens in the telepathy. So what happens is that when you think that telepathy is not possible, when you have the thought in mind, so that neuron carrier will block the pineal and you cannot experience telepathy, or it will not get manifested. So that will block the pineal and prevent the you to experience telepathy or develop the telepathy, and that will later become the forgotten information. So what we have to do is how this can be done. So how we can attain telepathy is that I'm coming to the point of Jennifer. So when we meditate, what happens is that we have so many thoughts coming in surface of a mind, coming before you. When you're sitting in meditation, what happens is that you have to cut those thoughts. You should not run behind those thoughts. You should cut one by one, and you should come to that one point where there is no thoughts in your mind, and that thoughtless form, that thoughtless state, when you achieve in your meditation, you can attain I can you can receive and transmit signals telepathically. The reason, because of the cerebral cortex. Why this is happening is that, our brain inside, as we talked about pineal gland, pituitary, and these things, there is cerebral cortex inside the brain, where the cerebral cortex is into thinking, logic, deduction, short-term memory, evaluation. So it is always into thinking, and what I have so many desires, I have to do this next, I have to, okay, I have to do all these works. What happens is that it's always in the thinking process, the cerebral cortex. So the main aim of the meditation is that you have to still the cerebral cortex, which means you have to bring this cerebral cortex into no thought state, where you have to attain the nirmal sthiti. Nirmal sthiti means no thought state. It is a Sanskrit word where we can attain this telepathy. We can get it activated by sitting in meditation, through the kundalini awakening, the spiritual energy from the muladhara to the sahasrara. When it happens, for again, for a new person to sit in telepathy, it will take time for them to attain no thought state. It may take even 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But people who are constantly doing meditation and practicing yoga, breathing exercises, and everything, they can just in 5 to 10 minutes they can bring their mind to no thought state through practice and constant experience in doing telepathy. So what will happen is that when this no thought state comes into attain this state, then you can receive the I mean, thoughts which have been communicated to you. You can receive the messages, you can just reply to the other person, but the other person should also be in the same state when she is able to receive the thoughts. So when we say that our brain I mean, when the thought is generated, what happens is that these thoughts are electrical impulses, like electrical impulses which is being sent from one person to the another in the far off places. Yes, it can be. So why is that? Thomas Alva Edison was a person who found electricity bulb. So he was a person who, without his discovery, all these electronic goods running in electricity, the light, fan, everything wouldn't have come into existence if this discovery was not done. So what happens here is that, can even for the mobile phones, for the telecommunication, what happens? Can you see the signals in your eyes? Can it be seen in naked eyes? No, it is not. You cannot see what actually the signal from people in far off places. It comes, reaches our mobile, we reply to that and that message, but can you see the signals around us? No, it is all invisible. The same thing, but you believe in it, isn't it? You believe this, this message we received through some signal from our tower and everything. You understand the behind theory, everything, but can you see it? No, but you actually believe, but you can witness it, it is happening. So you believe that some electricity or signals is all over us, around us. So this is belief. You witness it, so you believe it. But the same thing happens in the brain. So a person can actually send signals to far off places, but the thing is, we are not in the state to receive it, because not in the two persons, sender and receiver. Only if the sender is in the meditative state or the no thought state, the other person should also be in the same. So what actually happens is, when our thoughts are being sent, it actually floats in the environment. Actually, our thoughts floats in the environment, and this thoughts has to be picked by the other person, when she's also has the ability to pick those signals. So both has to be mutually in the same plane. So unless this doesn't happen, then it cannot be. Only she will be sending thoughts, or he or she, the other person will not be able to receive it. So it is all one sided. So the other person also have to receive the same thoughts. So what he or she should do is, she has to sit in the meditative state, she has to attain the no thought state, and she has to receive these signals. And when this you are so much in practice with this, even by any time of the day, you can receive the signals. Just by sitting with 5 minutes no thought state, you can receive the signals from the others. The same the other person does, she also receives the signals sent by you. But this will happen, but it will take a long time, maybe in another 100 years, because each one has to understand that this ability is within us, and we have to use it. Otherwise, no, then it will be dormant. The pineal gland, as it is dormant now, it will be dormant like this. So the whole world has to understand the system, and receive the signals, and they should be able to receive as well as transmit the signals mutually without any hindrance, unless the whole world knows this process. And when the network is created, then everybody can communicate telepathically. But for that, you have to still the cerebral cortex, and you have to bring your mind to no thought state to receive the signals. When the same thing happens in your mobile, when the mobile is being you receive a call, what happens when the same person, sorry, when the other person calls at the same time, it is engaged, because the other person is in the call. So what happens is that, when the other person's mind is engaged, the message what the some other person is sending you you will not able to receive. But for that, you have to cut once you cut the thought from the person who was communicating to you, the person sent by the second for the second person, thoughts will receive you when you want to pick the message, when you are in the meditative state, you will receive it. I hope you're trying
Okay.
I'm trying to
Yeah, I'm
continue.
keeping up with you. Yeah, because I do notice that when I'm picking up that
Mm,
kind of information, I'm like
mm,
driving or I'm
mm,
sleepy. But
yeah,
if I'm very immersed, like on my computer or something like
mm,
that, I'm pretty tuned out to that. But
mm,
it's
mm,
those other moments where I
mm,
find
mm.
that I start receiving and picking up on things too. So that makes perfect sense to me too. I
Yeah,
actually can feel when information or energy is coming to me,
yeah,
even right before I get a text message. I'll get a like
yeah.
a zzz, bing, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so funny. Evelyn had a question about, can things block your pineal gland? Because like people talk about like fluoride and things that we eat or environmental toxins, things like that.
Mhm.
That she's read. What would be your analysis on that? It says crystals harden due to toxins we are eating.
Yeah, actually, when I was talking about Lang, his experiment in 2002, he was saying that the pineal gland is developing microcrystals. Why? Because these telecommunication signals which are being passed around us in the environment which we are in, these signals, these communication signals going to and fro, it is making the pineal gland to develop some microcrystals, it seems. So what actually happens is that it is actually helping the pineal gland from becoming dormant to actually getting activated. It is being activated to receive and transmit thoughts because of the telecommunication signals that are happening around us, is actually helping the pineal gland to go back to the, I mean, the ancient days where it was being used by people to telepathically communicate. So it is actually helping you in attaining that state. So it cannot be blocked actually, pineal gland, unless we ignore that. It cannot be blocked.
Okay. That's kind of the opposite. What a lot of people think is that they think like if they have too much fluoride or things like that, that it's
Yeah.
going to form the crystals and block. But what you're saying is the crystals actually are showing that the pineal gland is activated, that
Yes,
it's
yes, I
working and
can
it's
share the
developing.
information with you.
That's very
Yeah,
interesting too.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Actually, I read from the book. So there, I came to know about this where yeah. So a new, so I'll just read it through for you. Lang, he says that a new form of biomineralization has been studied in the pineal gland of the human brain. Inside the pineal gland are calcite microcrystals consisting of calcium, carbon, and oxygen that produce bioluminescence. That is the light, like something. That is the cold light that produces light without heat, ranging in the blue green light spectrum. These calcite crystals are said to have their own piezoelectric effect that is responsive to electromagnetic energies outside the physical body and can also produce its own electromagnetic energy. So this was found by Lang. So when he was talking about the pineal gland and these thought how it is being blocked, the neuron carrier and everything was explanation from his experiment. What so he gave this I mean information in his discovery.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it too. We had
yeah,
another question about how we allow our thoughts to just be without fighting them, without fighting with ourselves to achieve a certain way of being, which seems to cause more conflicts in our efforts to scramble and be positive to get neutral. So that is a thing. Is that as soon as we go into resistance of the negative thought, then it almost gets worse. And so, what would your advice on how we can learn to manage the negative thoughts? And I also wanted to ask too, because I was trying to understand what you were talking about manifesting, because this is in line with Tony's question. You're saying that our negative thoughts block our manifesting. Are we
yes,
manifesting the negative thoughts, or we're just blocking manifesting altogether and kind of just staying in a non-growth phase or a
yeah,
repetition phase?
yeah. Actually, no. When you think negatively, what happens is that you are actually manifesting the negative thought. That's all. You're manifesting the. If you believe, if you think, oh, I cannot do it, then it gets manifested. That thing you
Okay.
will not achieve it. Yeah.
So
And when
are you
said this,
blocking then what you're trying to achieve? So you're blocking what you're
yeah,
trying to achieve and creating
yeah,
what you don't want to
and
achieve. So we need to
yeah,
learn then to
yes,
calm the
positive
negativity down
down and
without. without
That's
without
right.
fighting
Yeah.
it too, because then
Yeah.
it creates a
even though
cycle.
even though you see, there are so many scientifically impossible things which were said it is not at all possible, have later become possible. But why? Can you understand why? Because that person was very confident that he believed that even it is, even though it is impossible, I mean, his constant work and efforts on it had made it possible. So we cannot say that, we say that nothing is impossible, everything is possible unless we think positively and be confident and work hard on it. And one more thing is that we have to, even though we are a negative type person, we don't think so positively, we should start practicing saying positive affirmations. Yes, I can. Yes, I will do. Yes, I'll be happy. So even though some people, by nature, they'll be negative, they'll be thinking negatively. My god, what happens if it goes like this? My god, oh my god, what I'll do if it happens? That type of negative thinking should be totally taken away from your mind, and you should always saying affirmations. If you're not able to come out of negativity, then think of reading some positive books, the affirmations, write down affirmations, say positive thoughts frequently, and develop the ability, the positive attitude in you. That can be done. This is how we can get out of negativity, and we can achieve things if we think positively, no? Kandipa. It will happen for sure. It will happen for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've found that my own self-development work that I do within myself, to like integrate my own mind and psyche, has helped a lot with. I get a lot less of that kind of thinking. It's not, I wouldn't say I've eradicated it, but it's a lot less. So taking the time to do the self-development work and keep trying, don't give up, keep moving forward,
Yes, yes, exactly.
really helps with that too. So and it's consistent, and be consistent with it too. I also find that our mental energy, where the cerebral cortex is really on fire, going crazy,
Yeah.
tends to be
Mm.
very up here in this
Yes, yes.
space. So if we practice bringing our energy down in our body, aka
Yeah.
grounding, learning to move
Yeah.
your energy, the Kundalini awakening does help teach you to
Mm.
to feel your energy and move it. Bring it
Mm.
down in your body, you'll see that the thinking subsides. People also
Mm.
practice things like humming, and things like that, because if like you're humming or you're holding your breath, you're not thinking
Mm.
anymore too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a consistent developed awareness over time, and it might be 5 seconds is the only way you can hold your awareness, and then but
Yeah.
that will become
Mm.
10 seconds, and then 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and then 5 minutes, and an hour.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
um, Tony says negative thoughts are an opportunity to bring awareness to the capacity to see the potential positive thoughts. Well, that's a positive thought on the negative.
Oh, that's kind of tricky.
Evelyn is happy she doesn't need another supplement to dissolve the crystals. She's very grateful. She was like, "Do I have to buy another supplement to dissolve the crystals?"
Okay, no
Okay.
need actually. What happens is that when something is discovered, there will be both positive as well as negative side to it. As I told you, even the mobile system, no, we use it for both positive as well as negative purpose. Not only that, even telepathy can be, if it is existing, even that can be. But we have to always stick on to the positive, and just ignore the negative and just go on. That's all. That's how it has to be done.
Yeah, without putting into a lot of energy and
Energy.
grasping
Yeah.
onto it and things
And
too.
actually, in our next talk on aura and chakras, there is an interesting thing. What they say is that in order to evolve from lower order chakras to higher order chakras, what you have to do is the first when you evolve and you realize that you are in a new chakra. For example, you have evolved from the Manipura chakra to the heart chakra. Manipura is solar plexus chakra. So when you have moved, evolved, so you experience some change has happened in your character or your body, that you are sensing that you are in a good environment because of a change in your behavior that has made you to see the world in a different way. So your perspective changes. So what happens is that when you are in the new chakra, he or she experiences both the positive as well as negative sides of the chakras. So when a person is very positive, we say that he is balanced. When he's negative, he is unbalanced. So when he is in the positive side, he is balanced. He'll be very compassionate, show a lot of love. But when he is in the unbalanced state of the heart chakra, he is totally the opposite. He'll be very angry. He will lose temper and he will hurt others. That is the unbalanced state of the heart chakra. So what happens here is that the person experiences both the positive and negative side of the chakras, and he slowly tries to ignore the positive side. Why? Because it gives him a lot of happiness and makes him satisfied and live peacefully when he is in the positive side. But this negative side actually gives him only hurtings, or make his life even more painful when he is in the negative side. When he realizes that and ignores the negative and chooses the positive, and this positive side he tries to experience it again and again by interacting with the society or the things he does. And what happens is that his he his total chakra becomes cleansed, and he becomes fully balanced, and then he moves to the Vishuddha chakra, to the throat chakra. So what happens is here is that when a person evolves from one chakra to the other chakra, he actually experiences both positive and negative side, ignores the negative because it gives him more of negativity, and it actually makes him very unhappy. So he sticks on to the positive, he experiences that, and he evolves to the next chakra. So this is how we evolve in the chakras, where we ignore the negativity. The same thing happens in each and every thing that we are doing. Whatever thought we have, just ignore the thought which is negative and just stick on to the positive. Just, they say that karma is a boomerang, where when you do good things, only good things will happen. When you do bad things will return to you in multiple folds. So that we should always be very cautious about. So the life that we are living today, we should be always into the positive side, just ignore the negative. People will, or there are some people even wantedly they do negative things, even though it gives them unhappiness. They actually do always be in the negative side, which only will drain their energy, make them unhappy, and live a very dreadful life. So just they have to think to evolve and actually do things, stick on to the positive side, and make the life even more peaceful and happy. That's what I would like to convey, because in the
That's interesting. Yeah, because if I were to look at the world, I would say there's a lot of people who are in the negative side of the heart
yeah,
chakra,
yeah.
because of the sort of epidemic of avoidance that's out there.
Mhm.
And so I'm curious, because Colin is asking, because he and I must be telepathic. Colin's a
Okay.
friend of mine from the Monarchic Consciousness Group. And he says it clearly appears humanity is shifting to a completely new chakra. Do you have any thoughts on this? So are we as a collective like working on the heart, and then we're going to move up? And would that also correspond with the ascension of humanity that we've all been talking about? What would your thoughts be?
Yeah, actually, we say the seven chakras are the main chakras. There are so many minor chakras. Actually, there are 50, 100 plus chakras are there. So many minor chakras and everything. Minute, but those are all documented. They have all the what are all the other chakras are. But for our understanding and easiness, we just look into the seven major chakras. I don't know whether new chakras can come. I'm not aware of that. But these are the seven main chakras. There are also minor chakras and other small chakras, but that are very vast to explore. But for our for basic knowledge to the people, it's better to stop with the seven main chakras. I have studied, but I have not explored more on the minor chakras yet.
Right. Would you say, Colin, it's so funny. I can hear Colin. We're, he's my friend. So. We're sitting here smiling.
Yeah, okay.
So I was having so much fun. All right. So I think what Colin was asking is the collective in a collective chakra that we're kind of like I'm thinking we're in the heart chakra, but we're still figuring that out and haven't quite moved up yet too. So what would your assessment be? Or would you say humanity is in a lower chakra or somewhere higher? What do you
Yeah.
have any thoughts on that? And that's okay if you don't. I'm just curious.
Yeah, yes. Actually, during my research, we have conducted in my place, in my place, where hometown. So where we conducted the experiments, and what we found is these seven chakras. We have developed a questionnaire. The questionnaire can be responded by any individual, any individual, any country, people, or any religion can be those seven chakras. They can respond to those questions, and they can understand that they are in which chakra right now. Just by after evaluation, we can assess which chakra the person is. If he is in the heart chakra, so that characteristic will have a higher score than the other chakras. So what happens is that when this questionnaire was given among the people in my place, we found that the whole of the Coimbatore city, the city which where the experiment is conducted, we found that that city had Vishuddha chakra the maxima, which means creativity and expression. Which means that the reason behind that is most of the people in my city are into teaching, into service, and we have a lot of spiritual organizations in that place compared to any other cities in Tamil Nadu. So what happened was that place was having blue chakra, I mean the blue aura, that is the throat chakra, the maximum, indicating that people are more communicative and expressive, and they are very service minded. So yes. So what why I'm just answering to your question is, it can be assessed the whole humanity in which chakra or which level they are in. And from the book where I studied, I was said that people in Western countries had, I mean, Manipura chakra the maximum. So the reason is that because of maybe the dominance or superiority, the reason might be that that is what they have assessed. And this experimental questionnaires can be responded by people, or there are instruments also to assess which chakra you are in, like aura video station, and you have Kirlian photography where you can assess the aura or the chakra of the person. So what happens is that yes, the humanity can be, we can understand in which chakra they are in. Maybe they are more into the upper chakras or lower chakras. Yes, it can be assessed. Or just by even the psychics, or who are very clairvoyant, they don't need these questionnaires or instruments. Just by talking with them, just by seeing them, having a few questions with them or interaction, they can analyze which chakra they are in. Yes, it can be assessed, or it can be understood. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I know we need to come to a close soon, so I'll just get a last couple of comments. Nigel is saying, sorry, Nigel, there are thousands of chakras, all of which are descending into human existence as we accelerate the reconnection process. Very cool. Christy, we are going to be doing a show in just a few more weeks with Dr. V on auras, actually. So please stay tuned for that. With Vaidehi Priyal, we're going to be doing another show on auras. And Colin is saying it appears there is a process which matches the ascension. For example, moving from the throat chakra, it is associated information to the third eye and its associated information. So because we talk about in the spiritual community ascension, like kind of into a higher dimension. And so it sounds like we can also reflect that into the chakras with humanity as we ascend up the chakras, then we would become more telepathic, right?
Yes.
As a whole. I think that there's a positive side to this too. There's a movie called Powder, which was from the 80s or the 90s, where this boy was born albino, and he was literally an electric transistor because his grandparents had to put those lightning rods all over the house because he attracted lightning, he attracted energy. But he could read everybody's thoughts and motion and emotions and everything. So he knew what everybody was thinking around him. And there was a scene where him and this pretty girl who was nice to him, and most of the people were mean to him, but she was nice to him. They had this telepathic communication where they could see their hidden fears and things like that. But it was so beautiful. And he was saying that if we all could speak telepathically, no one would hide anything. So I know we do have concerns with privacy manipulation and using it for wrong. But to think of it as transcending the ego mind a little bit too, of not having to hide anything anymore, that would be like spirit world too, where everybody just communicates telepathically in spirit world. So it brings up some interesting thoughts and feelings of where we could go with this as a collective.
Yeah. Um, yes. When we, yeah, I'm just gathering all the information that you're
Yeah, I
saying.
know. I have to do that too when I hear it. I'm like,
Yeah, yes, actually, we when the whole world gets telepathically communicated, no, like we say, the Rome was not built in a day, as I told you that day. Uh, this uh, telepathy, no, it needs time and constant practice by everyone. For that, the whole world should be aware of the thing that telepathy is existing. As I told you, there are two blocks why we are not able to communicate telepathically, because the first block is that we are not aware that we have telepathic ability. People might know that, might have heard the word telepathy, they know the meaning, but you know what? They say that it is not existing, or it is something beyond imagination, it is imaginary or something, a humbug. So what happens is that they ignore it, so they don't take it seriously, and that becomes a block, because they just have a doubt whether it is existing, whether it is possible. So that block actually blocks their pineal. So what happens is that it will not manifest, or they will not experience telepathy in their life actually. They just ignore it. So that block has to be first clear. The second block is that our mind is always in thinking of various thoughts, and we have a lot of desires the next day, what to do the next month, next week, or this happened in the past, so how might going how might go to deal with these things, all those things, no. It's all happening in the brain, and that has to be brought to a stop. We must chill the cerebral cortex. So these 2 points: first, we have to be aware of the telepathic ability, so this thought should be in everybody's mind in the whole world. The second block, that they should not be in always thinking state, no. They should in a day, at least they should have few times keep their mind in a free mode, or in a thoughtless state, so they can, so that will help them to receive as well as transmit the telepathical thoughts they would have received from their near and dear ones, or from people far away. And they also can transmit the thoughts. So this should happen among the whole humanity, not just for between a 10 people or 5 people. And what happens is that that will stay restricted in that circle alone. So for the whole humanity to experience telepathy, the whole world should believe that telepathy is existing, believe that they can also transmit and receive thoughts, and they should put efforts in keeping their mind in a thoughtless state to receive those thoughts. So when the whole world is practicing it, surely this telepathy can be achieved. So unless only a smaller crowd of 100 people, or people who are a limited circle, no, it will happen only among themselves. How I say is that because I encounter telepathic experiences in my day-to-day life very often. So when I'm in a home with my family, yes, I experience telepathy. I know my children very much, know their body language. I can understand what they are thinking. My husband, just before uttering, he will say what is in my mind. So it happens. But it should happen among the people who are strangers to us, who are unknown. So if this has to happen, everybody should take effort. Everyone should practice this, and they should believe, and they should able to put efforts in exchanging information So this has to happen in a wider circle, not in a smaller circle. So everybody should understand and practice this so that they can achieve telepathy in, if it's 100 years left, maybe in 50 years we can, if we take efforts and think positively. Yes, it might happen in future. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
believe it's possible. Learn how to calm our thoughts. Kundalini awakening sure helps too. And I just had a thought of like, what are we doing when we pray to spirit? That's telepathy, So we actually use it more than we realize. It's just maybe not everybody understands it too. So Colin is looking forward to hearing from you, Vaidehi, on the chakras and the aura and
Yeah.
our next live that we have scheduled is just a few weeks from now. So because you have so much to offer, so we knew we had to do at least 2 shows together. So oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge. This is absolutely fascinating. I would imagine some of us are probably going to want to go back and watch the replay just to catch in the rest of the details that we might have missed along the way, or just to really solidify it in there too. But very, very grateful, and very, very grateful for everybody who has been viewing and stayed with us this whole time too. So thank you so much. Vaidehi, is there any last minute words or thoughts that you'd like to leave with all of us here today before we
Yes.
close?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
To all the viewers who are patiently listening to this talk on telepathy, I'm very glad that I've shared my knowledge and some awareness among you people. I know everybody would know some or the other thing about telepathy, but with collective efforts and constant practice, we can achieve telepathy. And only when everyone in the world think positively and willing to share information telepathically, this can actually happen in another few years. And yes, we are excited and looking forward for that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vaidehi. So grateful for you today, and I absolutely believe you because I experience telepathy all the time. So you don't have to
Okay.
convince me, but I'm so happy to be
Yeah.
have this opportunity to have the discussion with you and share your knowledge with all of us too. Is absolutely fascinating, brilliantly
Mm.
given to everybody here. So thank you for that too, and for being here, which is now past midnight for you over in India. So
Yeah.
thank you for your time and staying up so late with all of us too.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank
Everybody
you.
who's still with us, thank you so much for watching and listening. Spiritually Imperfect will be coming on in about 3 hours with Michael Christopher and Jennifer Lee. On Monday, I'll be with Nancy Muratala for Fashionably Spiritual at 6 p.m. Pacific. And next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, Messages from the Enchanted Realms will be back with Fran Pierce and Shannon Rite and myself as well too. I do wish everybody a lovely weekend coming ahead and week coming ahead. Thank you all for being here so much. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. Thank you to our beautiful producer, creator, and owner of the Sacred Spiral Network, Kelly Brickle, for taking good care of us here today for a beautiful and seamless show that we had here today as well too. And may all of this energy that we've all been sharing in this collective container together be infinitely multiplied so that the world will have healing and upliftment and hopefully more telepathy as well. So with that, I will say thank you so much. And again, have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for tuning into Embracing Infinity. We will see you next Friday with Ireland's Nadia Barami. Can't wait to have her back as well too. So thank you so much, everybody. God bless. Lots of love. Bye. Thank you.